Hi folks, the Filipino P here, and today I'm going to ask random citizens of the Philippines a hypothetical question. If America wanted us to join them, should we vote yes or no on becoming the 51st state? Get ready for some funny, thought-provoking, and very unexpected answers. Now, before we start, let me remind everyone that there's not even any talk of joining the US. This is purely a hypothetical, but it'll be really interesting to see what Filipinos have to say about it. So let's get started.
I would go for a yes. Uh, the first reason would be we will be sharing the wealth of the United States of America. Diba? Pero, ang problema we will be very different from the other states kay kita an non-English speaking state. Kaya magtitinagalog kita. And it will become mas maupay kung USA, Philippines, kaya pwede kita masiring, usap tayo, USAP. But what will happen kung maunaan Philippines, USA, pusa tayo. Di rin mas marupay. One thing is, pwede kita, at least as long as, okay la, if we give it a chance, mas marupay. In terms of wealth, in terms of power, in terms of as to pagkontrahin mga ibang nasod, pwede kita. That's one advantage. So, as I've said earlier, we will be very different from the other 50 states kasi we will be a non-English speaking state. There will be a time na magiging English speaking state na kita. Ang problema in fact, may mga memes nga dito sa US ko, no? May na nakabutang dito, bawal magtapon ng basura. So it will be a very different for us. Pero kita, as a very hardworking people, very intelligent people, we can make a difference dito sa states.
Okay, that was pretty funny, Mr. Joey. Pusa is our word for kitty cat, but somehow, I don't think the Americans want to be known as a nation of pusas. So that's one yes vote, but let's hear what everybody else has to say.
For me, I would vote no. Why? It is because the Philippines now is a free country and it is important that we honor the sacrifices that was made for us to become a free country. And for the cultural aspect, I don't think the Philippines and America has the same cultural practices. And it is important that we consider those factors because they have their own beliefs, they have their own rituals. However, some of those does not apply in the Philippines. And I believe that if the Philippines would be one of the states of America, it will change us in a very huge way, especially in the landscapes of culture.
Ita akong baton, permanente good, no. Kaya in the first place, Korean, US, pagsakop din ng Philippines. Kaya may naton mga kalugaringon, mga self-interest. Bisan nga nit US, it era mga problema dito. Dinira na po, nasusulbar nga duro. It era pala mga borders, damo na problema. Asay pat na may mga ibang state nga full of drugs, labi nitong mga fentanyl. Problema gyapon nito nira. So, ito pala, adi kita himuong kita nga 51st state. Makuri lang yapon kita aton mga korap nga daan nito aton system. Di nito naton mababag-o na unless may the divine intervention. Do you think it US makasulbar ito? Ito yan ang era mga pagiging 51 state. Ano tira ma-offer aton? Wari ko nakikita ang advantage. Kung ano metabot Philippines, proteksyon na nalalagon naton. Bubligay kita i-change ti kang haaton diri ha ibang country. Ani aton i-change. Repentance light at kinahanglan. Kung kaya. Kaya ikaw rugan din niya aton, puro self-interest. Bahala ka mo dida. Basta kami ma-survive. Amo ito nga mga mentality. Bisan ano kaupait aton leader, kung iton adya o busaratin, wari matatabo. Diri nga ni leader nga decision-making firm, di nga ni matanggal pagiging korap pa kasing-kasing, wari matatabot Philippines. Di rin naton kinanglanin outside world para lang change. Dapat i-change ani aton. Diri ako nagsisikin mag-inanuhon ito naton ng mga 51 state mo pala 51st state mo pala pag pinamation pero wala naton magiging ito. So I better say no nala gabay nala ito dilagap mahitabo.
Yes, I will have to vote for yes. Because knowing that the Philippines is really in debt right now. So being a part of a state in the U.S. will be like will be beneficiary for the country. It's in a sense wherein funds can be supported by the president, and our president can also run the state in a state where it abides the law. For once, the Philippines will become revolutionized in a sense, though it is already revolutionized, but just like upgraded in a way wherein techs or research is more funded. Tech wise, we are also supported so that the state or the Philippines can be more innovative and more upgraded as well.
Honestly, I'd vote no. My answer is typically going to be based off of what happens with states that have the US presence in them. So, first of all, for example, in the Philippines, even if we're not a US state yet, or we're not a US state, we already experience abuses caused by having US military bases in the Philippines. And I think it would overall be just very detrimental to the country's own culture, to its people, society in general, and economically and economically and geopolitically too, given that the US has recently withdrawn from the World Health Organization. I think it'll become very detrimentary to the current state of the Philippines, especially economically, because I think our trade will be affected. Stock markets and currencies will also be affected, and the overall quality of life will just go down poorer. Because assuming that the Philippines will become a US state, we'd be forced to adopt the US dollar, and then therefore goods will increase in prices. And overall, it's just going to be bad. So yeah, that's what I think will happen if if the Philippines becomes a US state.
No. Historically, we know that Americans have different cultural values when it comes to Americans, and Filipinos are known to be family oriented, which is not somehow like linked to the American values, and there will be conflict when it comes to the cultural norms and values when we become state of the American. And also politically speaking, that the Americans do have different political landscape, and the Philippines will not be suitable to become part of the American. We will have lesser independence. It will be more on the discretion of the American to lead the country and to constitute laws on our territory. And also for culture, we will now more adopt into the American thinking, into the American norms, which has a great difference and variations when what I observe it with ours. So it's a lot of changes, and it's changes that and alterations in our landscape as a whole that will occur for the country if we are to become a state of the America.
My stay for that and my action for that is yes, because it is also one for us to be known as, paano natin maging kilala, at to be part also of the society. And wala namang mali kung mag-join tayo, but we need to join, and before joining, we need to think critically before making decision. If the Philippines could be part of that, it would be more improved and more united, not just united, but also magiging mas high-tech, or mas improved pa siya.
As a Filipino, we're taught to be nationalist, meaning we are, embracing the traditions and the values as well as the culture of our own country, which is the Philippines. And also there is a reason behind why we gained independence against the American colonization. We value the unique and distinct characteristic as a Filipino and as a Philippines as the country. And by that fact alone, we could not stand being, being part of the United States of America, because, the culture is relative and we can't be, as one. Of course, USA as a super country, it's a powerhouse country. It would be not impossible that the Philippines would be alleviate from the current situation, which the downfall of its economic sides, and yes, and culturally speaking, it would be really different. You know, integrating with the current trends of globalization and with the USA integrating its culture to us, there would be a deviation between the culture of the Philippines and the United States.
Yes, I will vote yes. Actually, I'm a pro-US. And then, siguro, kung magiging one of the state of the US, itong Philippines, I think ma-improve it aton economy. And then, we can freely travel to US without visa, requiring a visa. And then, mahilig naman itong mga Filipino mga imported goods. So, I think, so magkakada na kita ng mga US products and everything, mga goods. And then, magiging cheaper na siguro ito, di ba? Mga infrastructure siguro. Uray na mga sinisari nga mga weak ba nga mga projects, like mga infrastructure. Siguro, uray na ada ito mga flood control anomaly. So, mga damo siguro ito improvement. Tourism, improve na tatong tourism. So, US citizens can come here na to the Philippines. Kay baga state naman hiya, member of the state.
Okay, well, that was interesting. Now, I know this survey was a tiny sample size, so it's pretty much statistically meaningless. But I did notice a few trends. It seems like the older adults tend to think that becoming the 51st state was a good idea for practical reasons like security and economic growth, while most of the younger ones did not, for reasons like protecting our culture. I don't know what to make of that, but it's pretty interesting. And I want to thank everyone who participated. Now I can just about guarantee there'll be plenty of troll bots in the comment section on this one. Just like when I did the video asking Filipinos which country we should ally with. So don't waste your time arguing with the bots. Most of the time, they're not even real people. But if you want to comment and leave your own opinion, please do. My only request is that you keep it polite, because if you post rage bait, it's probably gonna be deleted. Well, that's it for this very unusual episode, and I'll be back on Tuesday with something that'll make you laugh. In the meantime, if you want to chat with me in real time, visit my Patreon page. You'll find me hanging out in the chat rooms, talking about everything under the sun. And you'll also be able to enjoy my exclusive videos and features that aren't available anywhere else. Hope to see you there.
If you think about it, I'm kinda like a pirate, helping you navigate the tricky waters of Filipino culture and dating, and telling you how to find your first mate. Are you gonna listen to just anyone, or trust your Captain P to lead you to the booty? And you best be hitting that like button, subscribing to me channel, and hitting that notification bell, or I'll shiver your timbers and cut off your jib. And while we be sailing, why not feast your eyes on me other videos too? And yes, I'm a real pirate. I've got the sunken chest to prove it.